Good morning, everybody. Today's topic of discussion is about the first sign, which is Aries, and it is also called as Mesha Rashi. Okay, it is the head of the Kala Purusha, and Mesha Rashi being the first Rashi among all the 12 Rashis, it is a starting point of the zodiac. Mesha Rashi is a animal, four-legged animal with two horns. Okay, and here you can see the uh, animal being depicted here, and also among the in the constellation, it's a group of stars. Okay, where it looks like a head of the animal. If you see here, it looks like a head of the animal. Okay, this is called as Aries. It is a mobile sign. The degrees associated, the starting of this Mesha Rashi start from 0 degrees to 29 degrees point 999 degrees. Among the Trimurti, that is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, the sign is connected to Brahma, okay, because Brahma is a creator, and the creation started from the Mesha Rasi itself. The house lord is Mars, okay. The direction associated is east, and the color of this sign is brick red, and it is a Agni Tattva Rashi, and the Graha is also Agni Tattva Graha. Agni Tattva means it is a fiery sign with a fiery planet. Both these are fiery signs, okay. It is being the starting point of the zodiac. Now, this particular sign has three stars. What are these? There are Ashwini, Bharani, and Kritika. Ashwini and this total, the total of these three stars are connected to nine padas. Each star has got four padas. That is, Ketu has Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Bharani has got Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and Kritika has got only Dharma. As I said, in a sign, we cannot exceed more than nine padas. Any pada which is left over will be carried forward to the next sign. So here we find that it is Ashwini has got four padas, Bharani has got four padas, and Kritika has got one pada. So total of nine. And the Lords, Vimshottari Dasha Lords, okay, the Vimshottari Dasha Lords of Ashwini is Ketu, Bharani is Venus, and Kritika is Sun. So people who are born in this particular sign, whether it is a moon sign or a lagna, we know that the predominant nature of these people are dharma. They are dharma related people. Why? Because if you see here in Ashwini Bharani, dharma is coming two times, and Kritika it is coming one time. So totally three. So the predominant nature of this Mesha Rashi people is associated with dharma, and these people they follow the rules of the dharma, whether in a right way or in any other way, they'll follow the dharma. What are the characteristics of these people? Their people tend to fight easily for upliftment of dharma. They have got great analytical skills. They have the knack of breaking down a problem into small pieces and arrive at a solution. Okay, so researchers are those people who have got these qualities. What are the bad habits? These people they eat meat, they drink, they smoke, they are very headstrong. They are they are prone to BPs because of being headstrong. They are very angry. They are born they get BP. It is blood pressure, and their face will be small. Eyes are red, small and thick eyebrows. Teeth are crooked, and they've got small and sharp teeth. Okay, these people, the people who are born in Mesha Rashi, They because they tend to fight and they have got strength and courage. Okay, and they are well built. Muscularly, they are well built. They become army generals. They can become police personnel. They can become engineers. They can become cooks. They can become restaurant owners. They can become hotel owners. Why all these things? Especially why cooks, why restaurant owners, why hotel owners? Because all these things are related to fire. Cooking is related to fire. Okay. Engineers. Why engineers? Because Mesha Rashi is that Rashi which is associated with Earth. It's a fire. It is a fiery. It's related to fire. But when it comes to calling the Mars, it is called as Bhaumaputra. Bhaumaputra means it is the son of the Earth. So that is why bricks are also connected to it. Engineers are also connected to it. Okay, where construction work is related, everything is related to it. When also open lands are also associated with Mesha Rashi. You understood? Now, what are the characteristics of this Mars people? They are dynamic, they are fiery, they are ambitious, and they are very courageous. They have got fighting spirit. They are non-apologetic, and they why? Because they are not apologetic. Because they tend to become angry very fast. That is the reason they become non-apologetic. They tend to fight. They tend to fight. Okay, and here we need to understand the sambandha of the Mars. Mars is friendly to Sun because Sun gets exalted in the house of Mesha Rashi. Mars is friend to Jupiter because Jupiter is the minister. Okay, and Mars is a person who's like a soldier who can listen to the words of the minister. Mars is also friendly to Ketu. Mars is also friendly to Moon. Okay, who's neutral to Mars? Saturn is neutral to Mars and neutral to Venus. Why Saturn is neutral to Mars? Because Saturn gets debilitated in the sign of Mesha Rashi. And who are the enemies of Mars? Mars enemies are Mercury and Rahu. Okay. Why Mercury? Mercury is like a child. He does not listen. He does not listen. Child does not listen. If you see, children are very adamant. In the same way, Mars is also very adamant. So these two people that come together, they become an enemy to each other. The same way Rahu. Rahu is such person who's like a shadow. He does not come forward. He is like a shadow. But Mars is straightforward. It's like shoot and talk. That's it. Rahu is night like he's a backstabber. Rahu is like a backstabber. Okay. So that is why they're enemy to the Mars. As I told you, Saturn gets debilitated in sign and Sun gets exalted in sign in 10 degrees. Okay, people having Sun in the Mesha Rashi, it is very good for these people. The reason being that Sun is a planet which is associated with timing. Okay, such people they get up early in the morning, do their daily chores, the daily activities what they're supposed to do, and they go back to their work. Okay, in the same way, these people, Sun and Mars, Sun is a very egoistic planet. So when the Sun is associated in the sign of Mars, these people they become egoistic. Okay, they do not bend for others because Sun does not bend for the others. Okay, one of the Aditya associated with the Sun is Datta Aditya. So when the Sun gets exalted in the Mesha Rashi, such people they fight for the moral values. They want the system to be changed. They want the system to be changed. They will work for the system. They work for the system to be changed. They do not want the existing laws to what you call existing laws to work. These people are those people. They go forward to make new laws. Okay, it is called as Datta Aditya. So you please check any chart if you find the sun as a Datta Aditya, provided he is not placed in a Dushtana, that is 6, 8, and 12. It is not good. But if it is in other from the lagna, if it is placed in 1, 4, 7, 10, that it has to be placed in Mesha Rashi. It can be 4th house, 7th house, or 10th house. Then it is called as Datta Aditya. Okay. Now, what are the objects which are associated with Mars? Mars being a very fiery planet, so knife, cutting tools, saws, okay, sharp objects which are used to cut the body, okay, medical objects, medical devices, all these things are associated with Mars. Who People who are born in Mesha Rashi, what gods they can pray? They can pray to Narasimha or Kartikeya. And what is the Shakti associated with this particular Mesha Rashi? Because Mars is the Lord, so it is Bagalamukhi. Okay, it is one of the Dasamahavidyas, 10 Mahavidyas, 10 Shakti Pitas. So, this is how we need to analyze the planets placed in the Mesha Rashi and characteristics of the Mesha Rashi people. One more thing. If a planet like Jupiter is going and sitting in Mesha Rashi, it will also acquire the qualities of the Mesha Rashi. Okay, Mesha Rashi being a very fiery planet, people who are having Jupiter in the Mesha Rashi, they also tend to fight because Jupiter is an expansive planet. Okay, so the fighting spirit gets expanded for the people who have Jupiter in the Mesha Lagna. What about Mercury? Mercury is also the same thing. Mercury is the lord of the third house and the lord of the sixth house. Okay, but if there is the Mercury is going and sitting in the Mesha Lagna, this is called as Dhimanta Yoga. This is a very excellent yoga. So people who have got Mercury in the Mesha Lagna, Mercury being the lord of the third house and sixth house, it's an excellent yoga for the Mesha Lagna people. Okay, but they should be very careful with respect to their head, with respect to their skin. These people tend to fight, they become very adamant. Why? Because third house is house of courage, third house is house of fighting, third house is house of communication. Okay, so they tend to fight. What about Venus? Venus is the lord of the second house and the seventh house from the Mesha Lagna people. Okay, and Venus is Jalatattva Graha. It is also the lord of the natural lord of the second house where it is associated with money. So people who are having Venus, the lord of the second house, Venus plays in the Mesha Lagna, these people become very stingy. Okay, in the matters of money. Okay, in matter of relationship, they, these people cannot get along with the relationships. Why? Because the Lord of the water is going and sitting in the house of fire. You understood? So it gets burnt. It gets burnt. They become very obsessive with women. Okay? Money, they earn a lot of money because it is the Lord of the second house, but they become very, very stingy. Okay? And what about moon? The Lord of the fourth house, that is, moon is going and sitting in the Mesha Rashi. That is also a Jalatattva Graha. It's the watery side going and sitting in the fiery side. So these people tend to become very big. They have to take a lot of water. They become very close to the mother. If also the Mars is placed in that particular sign along with moon, it is called as Chandra Mangala Yoga. It is a very good yoga. It's a very good yoga. Just like your Jupiter is placed over there. Okay. The Jupiter along with the Mars is placed in Mesha Lagna. It is called as Guru Mangala Yoga. If Moon is also going and sitting with Mars in the Mesha Lagna, it is called as Chandra Mangala Yoga. Chandra is Moon and Mangala is Mars. Okay, that is how we have to see. And I've already spoke to you about Sun. But if the Sun is also getting associated with Mars, there are two fiery planets sitting a fiery sign. It is called as Ravi Mangala Yoga. It is called as Surya Mangala Yoga. It is a very powerful yoga. You understood? Okay, why I'm telling you this is because these are all associated with Kendras and Trikonas. When the Kendras and Trikonas are getting associated and they're coming together, It is a very good yoga. It is called as Lakshmi Narayana Yoga also. It is also called a Dharma Karma Adipatya Yoga also. But here we have to consider that Saturn gets debilitated in the Mesha Rashi. If Saturn and Mars are sitting in the Mesha Rashi, okay, in the Mesha Rashi, it is not a good placement. Okay, this is called as Unmada Yoga. What is Unmada Yoga? Unmada Yoga is nothing but it's a yoga for madness. Do or die. That's it. Kill people. Okay. Saturn is a very slow moving planet. Mars is not a slow moving planet. Mars moves very fast. It takes instant decisions. Okay. So this placement of Saturn and Mars in a Mesha Lagna is not good for a person. He will take instant decisions. He will go to any extent to get his things done. You understood? Okay. When the Venus, the Lord of the seventh house, is going and sitting in the Mesha Lagna, people they are associated with relationships, markets. Okay. They understand the markets very well. They analyze the markets very well. Okay. If the Lord of the Scorpio, which is also Mars, is going and sitting in the eighth house, these people they tend to acquire inheritance in the form of lands, maybe through the parents or ancestors or whoever it is. And also at the same point of time, these people are prone to diseases. Okay. So, Mesha Lagna people, when the Lord of the eighth house, which is also the co-lord of Scorpio, is going and sitting in the Mesha Lagna, these people have to be very careful with respect to their health. Okay. They are prone to accidents. They are prone to long-term diseases. Okay. Because I said, Mesha Rashi is the head of the Kala Purusha. It is the starting point. It is the starting point of the zodiac. Now coming to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the natural ninth house, and Mesha Rashi is the natural first house. The first lord and the ninth lord, when they're coming together, it is Jupiter and Mars are coming together. It is also an excellent combination. As I told, it is an excellent combination. It's called a Guru Mangal Yoga because it is the lord of the ninth house. Ninth house is associated with temples. Ninth house is associated with higher studies. Ninth house of investments. Okay, so everything which is associated with Jupiter, and Jupiter being an expansive planet, okay, and these two planets are placed in the Mesha Rashi, these people tend to do lot of things associated with temples, okay, temples, guru, teachers, okay, going to a foreign country, doing higher studies, all these things are associated with the Lord of the ninth house going and sitting in the Mesha Lagna. What about 10th house? 10th house is Saturn. Natural 10th house is Saturn. It is a karmasthana. When the karmasthana and the lagna of the is associated, okay, these people they become very strict in terms of the career. They do their job very well, but in a very strict manner. In a very strict manner, they do it. Do or die policy. Okay. Now, what is 11th house? 11th house is associated with Rahu. As I told you, Rahu is a very dangerous planet. It's a shadow planet. It cannot get associated with the Mesha Lagna and Mesha Rashi and Mars also going and sitting over there. It is an explosion over there. Okay. Because Mars is a fiery planet. Rahu is that planet which is associated with all sorts of destructive materials. So when two planets come together, they become very destructive. Such people should be very, very careful. They should start praying to Durga. Okay, if they start praying to Durga, then only things will subside. Now, what about the other planet, which is other sign, which is Pisces? Pisces Lord is Jupiter, going and sitting in the 12th house. What is 12th house? 12th house is all related to foreign countries. Okay, foreign countries, foreign people, going abroad, crossing the oceans. Everything is associated with 12th house. And also, 12th house is house of moksha. Okay. 12th house is also house of moksha. 12th house is also house of losses. When the 12th lord is going and sitting in the first house, that means all the energy of the 12th house is going associated with the first house. Okay. So such people They can go to a foreign country. They want to go to a foreign country. They have to control their expenses, unnecessary expenses. Okay, these people are very spiritual in nature because 12th house is also a house of spirituality. Okay, depending upon what planet is getting associated, we should be very careful in that. We should try to analyze those things. Okay, all these things are in this way we have to try and understand the Mesha Rashi. Okay, I have seen cases where Ketu is getting associated with Mesha Rashi. It is not in Lagna. It is not a Mesha Lagna, but it is going and sitting in Mesha Rashi. When Ketu goes and sits in Mesha Rashi, these people they lose their hair because Saturn is associated, the Ketu is associated with losses. Everything is losses. When Saturn is also going and sitting there will be a lot of hair fall. Okay. And I've also seen cases where there the Lagna is Tula Lagna, okay, and Mars is going and sitting over there in the Mars. It is in the seventh house, okay, but it is not good. Mars, even though it is going and sitting in the seventh house, for this Tula Lagna people, Mars going and sitting is not good at all. It is not good. It is because it is Marana Karaka. Marana Karaka means death-like situation. It is the Lord of the second house and the Lord of the seventh house. So these two houses get destroyed. These people cannot earn money. They cannot do business. They have to be very careful when they want to do business. Okay, they have to be very careful because it is Maranakar. But because this particular Mars is going and sitting in its own sign, there is no tattva dosha because the element is very strong. The fiery element is very strong. These people they come out of these bad situations by the sheer strength of the tattva, by the sheer strength of the element. Okay. So in this way, we have to understand various combinations of the planets in the Mesha Lagna, which is the starting point of the zodiac. Okay. It is called as a Brahmanabhi. Okay, it is the exaltation sign of the sun, it is the debilitated sign of the Saturn. You understood? So, in this way, we need to understand the Mesha Rashi, Mesha Lagna, and the sun or the moon, or the moon when it goes and sits in there. Also, we have to understand its placement. A Jalatattva Rashi cannot sit in the Agni Tattva sign, okay, because you're losing a lot of water. A Prithvi Tattva planet cannot sit in the Agni Tattva Rashi. Okay, these two elements are dire enemies. Okay, a Vayu Tattva Graha cannot go and sit in the Agni Tattva Rashi. It is like a tornado. Okay, so it is better that uh, Agni Tattva Graha is sitting in its own sign. It is Agni Tattva Rashi. You understood? What is Jalatattva? Jalatattva planet. So it is Moon and Venus are Jalatattva planets. Mercury is a Prithvi Tattva planet. Then we have Saturn, which is a Vayu Tattva. Okay. And Sun and Mars is a Agni Tattva Grahas. So it is better to have Agni Tattva Rashis in Agni Tattva sign because these planets they tend to uplift the significance of this Mesha Rashi. Okay, so this is how we need to understand. Thank you very much for listening to this video. Please share and watch this video fully and also subscribe to this channel for more such Jyotish videos. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.